Hello, welcome to another edition of Beyond the Real. My name is Alex, and today we'll be talking Jungle Cruise. Give me a second to put my hat back on. So, as you can see, today we're talking Jungle Cruise, and I watched it, and let me tell you that I actually enjoyed it. And maybe I'm a little biased because I looked forward to it, and maybe not for the reason you think. So, walking into it, I didn't really have much expectation for it because, of course, it's based off of one of Disney's rides, and of course, I do like the Disney ride, but the trailers I don't really feel help this movie a lot because the trailers come off as kind of lame, and I just wanted a. It looked like a cool, funny adventure movie. Um, it has The Rock in it, it has Emily Blunt in it, and I was like, I can get behind that. And honestly, like compared to a lot of the other stuff that has been coming out lately, I was like, I'll give it a shot because to a certain extent, it's slightly more original than what's out right now. It's not a franchise, it's not a reboot, it's not a comic book movie, nothing like that. So I decided to give it a shot, and let me tell you that I really enjoyed it. So let me just say some of the things that I didn't like because compared to the stuff that I did like, I think that there is a lot to take from this. So, of course, as always, no spoilers. So, let me start by mentioning Jesse Plemons. I hope I pronounced that correctly. If I didn't, please forgive me. So, Mr. Jesse. He did a good job with the character, and I really enjoyed watching him sometimes. However, this character that he plays of Prince Joachim, I did not like. He came off way too snooty, very annoying, and it seems like there were even points in the movie where the movie didn't even want me to take him seriously. From the way they talk about his name, his accents, and it seems like people just make fun of him. So I was like, he's supposed to be the villain, I think, but I don't feel like the movie wants me to take him seriously as a threat. So I guess maybe for that reason, I didn't see him as a threat. So for that reason, I have to dock some points off of it because honestly, I feel like that hurt the movie because he just comes off as a joke. So he's just completely written off that way. And then, of course, another thing, um, some of the special effects, some of the CGI work, because the sets were fine. A lot of the practical sets were fine, like the boat, and even some certain places in the jungle. Even if they weren't legit, they seemed legit. But when it came to certain things like the look of the Spanish conquistadors, like the honey one or the main one that has like the snakes on them, it didn't look very good. I mean, not to say that it was like super bad or anything, because it wasn't, but there were just many times where I was like, this looks a little too cartoony, and it just, I don't know, I just did not enjoy looking at it. Same with the jaguar, panther, cat, whatever. That's basically one of the main characters as well, and I don't know, it just the interactions between The Rock or pretty much anyone else with that said animal was just not very convincing. And then there's a lot of the other like secondary characters that kind of seem like if they were also just meant to be as like like jokes. But yeah, there's that, and also I forget his name, but he's played by Paul Giamatti, and he's basically like The Rock's boss, and him too. I felt like he was a little bit too much, and also tying in to my first point, Jack Whitehall, his character, he plays Emily Blunt's brother, and he was funny. He had some great lines, but sometimes the movie just made him out to be a little bit too much. But of course, like I said um with the other guy, like it's not necessarily their fault. It's the movie or the writing that's making them out to be this way. So no hate at all to the actors because they really did embody the role, and they did their job. And also, like, towards the end, I feel like this movie tries to do a little too much because I feel like it has talked about or focused on some of these things that it kind of feels like it has to wrap up all at once, and it kind of like does genre building, I mean genre blending, and it's like action, romance, comedy, and more into the mythology stuff, and it's kind of just like, okay, I feel like this could have been done a little better. So, um, I think that's probably the main points because a lot of the other stuff, like, yes, this movie is very generic. Yes, it has cliches in it, but I mean, I don't mind any of that because at the end of the day, I just wanted a fun action adventure movie, and this movie delivered it to me because I really felt a lot of inspiration from, uh, like The Mummy, Pirates of the Caribbean, of course, and dare I say, the Indiana Jones franchise. And honestly, having all that, rolled into one, I found it to be quite enjoyable. And of course, The Rock, he was very, he was just the same as he always is, The Rock. He's got great dialogue, he's very charismatic, and of course there's some sense of ridiculousness in this movie because of course I never thought I'd see The Rock punch and wrestle a jaguar and you be on a boat and use said boat to outrun a torpedo to then jump a ramp on the same boat after outrunning a torpedo. I never thought I'd see that, but now I have. And yeah, The Rock was good, and he also had great chemistry with Emily Blunt, which surprised me because I mean, I haven't seen every movie The Rock has been in, but from what I see, I don't feel he has very strong chemistry with female co-stars as opposed to male co-stars because I feel like he gets more he gets along much better with male co-stars, but when it comes to female co-stars, I don't really see that much of that same chemistry. So I really feel he really had that with Emily Blunt, and I really like the way that this movie chose to further that aspect and relationship between them two. And also, Emily Blunt as well had great chemistry with The Rock. She had some good action set pieces, which surprised me. And I really enjoyed her character. She was very much that I know what I want, I know what I'm capable of, and I'm going to go out and do it. And she was pretty much almost seemed like she was ready for anything in this movie, which I really enjoyed seeing. And also Jack Whitehall, who I was kind of getting on earlier about his character, but he himself was great, and I 100% did enjoy him in this role and the performance that he gave. Excuse me. And also going back to Jesse Plemons, you know, same thing with Jack Whitehall. He nailed the role. It looked like he had fun with it, and while it was over the top, a little over the top to me, and it just was a little too much, I do feel that he himself had fun, and I completely, you know, enjoyed watching him play this role, even though it kind of got annoying. But like I said earlier, not his fault. Writer, movie. So yes, I recommend you watch Jungle Cruise because, like I said, it was a lot of fun, and it has great dialogue, good jokes. It's got some good callbacks to the ride as well. If you've ridden the ride, you've, or if you're familiar with it, and also just a real quick to talk about like what I said about the inspirations, because of course like the Mummy, it's kind of has like that same skeleton, or it's like Emily Blunt would kind of be like in the role that Rachel Weisz was in, where she's like this really smart woman who knows what she wants to do and she wants to go out and do something, and she has a brother who's like really like, I don't want to say wimpy, but he, compared to her, like he comes off real wimpy, but they're funny. They're like the funny character. And then of course they meet the guy who's like been there and done that, and like he wants to help them, but he's also kind of doing it for his own reasons. that was Brendan Fraser, but in this case, The Rock, and of course, parts of the Caribbean with the fact that they fight like these mythical creatures, mythical beings, them being on the water and having that mythology aspect. Of course, just like Indiana Jones, also having that mythology, uh, smartness, puzzle solving kind of thing. So that's why I compared it to those films, and I hope that you check this out. I hope you like it. Oh, and today's MVP award goes to Emily Blunt for reasons that I've already stated, and she knocked it out of the park. And if for whatever reason they decide to franchise this, I think I would watch a sequel, maybe. And yeah, that's pretty much gonna wrap it up. Jungle Cruise was a lot of fun. I hope you watch it. If you can, try to go like to the theater because I feel like we really need to support this kind of movie so we can hopefully get so ideas like this can gain traction as compared to reboots and comic book movies and based on and sequels and all that. So just give it a shot. So once again, my name is Alex. This is Beyond the Real, and until next time, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.